Hey guys, what's up? So here we go. We have a P365 with a direct threaded Spectre 9K. Love this setup. This setup right here is the bee's knees, in my opinion. Anyway, what I want to show you today, really try to demonstrate for you, is we have three different types of ammo in here. We have, on top we have 124 grain Super Vel, so it's supersonic. We have 147 grain American Eagle, which is subsonic. And we also have another 147 grain load, again, from Super Vel, again, subsonic. I want to hopefully show you that even though those two 147 grain loads are subsonic, they sound different. To me, they sound different. Hopefully the camera picks it up, the microphone picks it up. Let's see how it sounds and how it comes across. And that's why I threw the supersonic in there as well, so you can get a clear definition of what a supersonic round is going to sound like, followed by the American Eagle 147 and the Super Vel 147. So let's try this out. You know what's interesting on that? They all almost sound the same to me. That is interesting, and that's coming out of a very short suppressor, out of a pretty short gun. Not really that short of a gun, but a pretty short gun. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw the same ammunition with a different suppressor. I'm gonna throw it on the SAR9 SOCOM. Bigger setup, different suppressor, same ammo, and hopefully we would hear a difference. Hopefully you were able to pick up a difference there. I know I was able to pick up a difference. Supersonic is obviously a supersonic. The 147 American Eagle, to me, it seems it just has more power, has more oomph behind it. I can feel it in the recoil. I can feel how it just has more oomph to it. And in the sound, it comes across to me, there is more sound going on. There's more noise vibrations in the air, as it were, and it's just louder. When I get to the 147 Super Vel, for me, what I am hearing is a noticeable tone change, a more softness in recoil, which it makes sense because it's less energy being displaced and moved around and made into sound waves. Less of that is going on, so less recoil is going to be happening. And the sound is it's noticeably quieter for me. I really hope the microphone picked that up. But it just goes to show me, just because you have a 147 grain subsonic ammo, there's rocks falling everywhere. These Bigfoots are everywhere, I think, or little people. It could be little people. Anyway, just because you have 147 grain subsonic ammo does not mean it's going to be the same across the board. And a lot of you probably already know this, but there's a lot of folks getting into the game, getting into the suppressor world and stuff, and they might just see something that's 147 grain subsonic and think it's the best. Well, go get a box of it and get a box of something else, and then go try them side by side, because your system, like in this specific case, the SAR9 sounded fantastic. It sounded great with both 147s, but it sounded fantastic with those Super Vel 147s, noticeably quieter. Whereas if I was going to be shooting this out of the 365 that I just had, really not going to make much any difference to me. It didn't feel a whole lot different. You could tell again there was more recoil with the American Eagle, but sound-wise, there wasn't a whole lot else going on. So I would probably just opt for the American Eagle if I was going to be shooting the 365XL, because I would just rather, the sound being the same, I would just rather have a little bit extra oomph to the cartridge to just kind of ensure reliability, right? Because Super Vel can, in some systems that I have, be a little anemic and not cycle everything all the time. I'm glad I got through this whole magazine without it messing up. But if I'm going to be shooting and trying to be really quiet on the SAR9, all day, every day, I'm going to throw in those 147 Super Vels because they cycled and they're quieter even than the 147 American Eagle. Enough of that jibber jabber stuff out there. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. When did this epiphany happen to you guys? And you realize not just that 165 grain hush ammo from Freedom Munition, which I consider to be gold standard as far as quiet levels, not just super heavyweights like 165s are going to sound better than, 147s, But when did you have that epiphany, or have you had that epiphany, that the same grain weight, 147s or 150s or 158 or 165s, whatever it is, same grain weight in different manufacturers, they're going to sound different. They're going to have a different tone, a different sound, and a different feel because they're loaded different. It's a simple, basic thing, but I think a lot of times I don't even think about stuff like that. And then I notice a difference and I'm like, oh, duh. But I wish somebody had told me a while back ago, especially if I was looking for super quiet ammo. Right? Anyway, enough of that jibber jabber stuff. Let's go talk about it in the comments. Just shoot one more mag of this stuff just for outro sake.